Blue Tay and Yellow J bring flair. Stew with 2 titles, still hungry for more. But watch out, the Tomato King's at the door. Dash calls the shots, runs in like a boss. The metal pelting's coming, gonna sting and toss. Basement boys forever, this league's our pride. Carbon Dash, take you on a fantasy ride. Hey, this the Carbon Dash show, better check your stats. Previewing the matchups, breaking down the facts. From draft day drama to those title dreams. We the kings of the basement league, we keep it alive. Carbon Dash,
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Carbon Dash Show. Our guy Ryan went on vacation, and we were like, "Oh, who's gonna be our other host? Who's gonna be our other host?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got a perfect fix. Let's get the other Cobb to come on the show." And Kyler, Cobb's younger brother, will be joining us today as
Tyler Cobb's younger brother.
Yeah, what's that? Kyler Cobb's younger brother. Ryan's younger brother Kyler will be taking over Kyler's place in today's episode and next week's episode if he wants to come back. We'll see. We'll see how he does this week. We already got a comment from one of the league owners, Alex Olson, the better Cobb with the eyes emoji. Ooh, love that. Love that. So Kyler, thanks for coming in and taking your brother's place. Obviously, I know you talked to Ryan about it. What has Ryan told you about the doing the Carbon Dash show? Any tips he gave you or no?
Not much tips because of the time difference. We haven't really talked much, but it's big shoes to fill. I'm excited.
Yeah. We're talking about the reigning back-to-back Pancake King, your brother. So yeah, big shoes to fill. With our opening part of our episode, we usually do our low score chug, and our low score chug of the week. From last week was my guy Tasia. Tasia sent in his beer video to me last night. Perfect, right in time for our show today. So let's get to that. Let's see what Tasia has in store for us this week.
What up, losers? High score week 1, low score week 2.
That's his drink of choice,
such as
what
fantasy football.
I don't know what that is.
Got my score pulled up. It's funny, if I just would have started Goff, I would have won. I think I would have won by like 0.5 or something. It would have been real close. But as bad as a week as I had, starting my other quarterback, I would have won.
The shoulda, coulda, woulda,
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have done that anyway, though. Fields has been the guy. Now he's
per game
on the shelf. Well, Kona.
Ooh, Kona looks nice.
A little poor. It's getting cold.
it has to taste refreshing if the art's like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Like a citrus IPA or something.
That's cold as hell, though, dude. That's not going to go down
fall,
nicely.
Baby. Fall, bitches.
Mark,
you should look up to see how many times in the history has the high score been the low score the next week. Here's to hoping not low score for week 3.
Oh yeah, look at that! Look at that! That's a pro chug right there. Cold and everything.
Done.
That was impressive.
Good.
That's a Chiefs fan.
Hey, that's what we do, baby. That's what we do. Winning at everything, even the chugs. Even when you lose, you win, right? So the chug there, Tasia was the high score week 1, and then he followed that up with the low score of the week this past week, which is pretty interesting. You don't usually see that often. I think it happened like once or twice last year, and I think he was one of the people that actually happened to last year, which is interesting. A back-to-back year of doing that. So that was week 2, and we usually do the highlights of week 2. And honestly, my highlights for week 2 was going to be actually Tasia going from like the top dog to, just kind of mediocre with his score of, I believe, what he scored. He scored 71 last week. Yeah. I mean, in week 1, he scored, what did he score? He scored 142 in week 1 and then 71. So literally half off essentially in week 2. But yeah, my big takeaway from week 2 was Roden and ZB coming in with their the high score, not the high scores, but those two bouncing back. We know what kind of team ZT has, and he scored 163 against me. He had the high score of the week. And his team is pretty good. ZT's team is pretty good. Scored 163. I mean, Roma Dunze had like a 30. He had just everyone on his team scored, and it was just like nonstop barrage. Even Lamar Jackson, the first half of the game had a 9, and then second half of the game, I think he ended up with like 35. So he had like 26 points in the second half. So yeah, ZT was really animated in the group chat. It's the most cocky he's ever been, and we'll see him tonight actually at basketball. But yeah, he's very cocky in the chat, calling me out. And usually he's a very humble and modest guy, but we're seeing a new kind of ZT, and I kind of like it. I'm kind of here for the new ZT. So ZT coming out with 163, and then him being cocky in the chat. That's probably my big takeaway. Kyle, I don't know if you have any takeaways from what you've seen from the week 2 stats. Anything that stood out to you from the week 2 score, the box score?
I mean, not much. I feel like everyone almost, or not everyone, but everyone, like every league almost had like a score differential like that, where it was just a blowouts almost, and then like one close game at least. So I don't know. I feel like week 2, week 3, just kind of feeling people out at least. You know, you can take a risk and maybe if you want to trade somebody, but I mean, I still think it's just you have so much time left where it's such a long season. You just got time to take your time and develop your team at least. But
yeah, I mean, yeah, no, it was because there's some high scoring games last week, and if you had guys on during those games, you're probably gonna do well. And like I said, ZT had Roma Dunze, and like they got dominated, but he like still had like a 30, which was nuts. But yeah,
yep.
Big takeaway though is ZB also beating Hotch. Hotch is the has been a guy who's been, everyone thought he was gonna have a good team this year, and he has a really good team, but nonetheless he's 0-2. And we're looking at this upcoming week. Not going to be easy for him. So some people are saying in the league right now he might go 0-3, and a lot of people are actually hoping that he is the Tomato King. Because I've heard from numerous sources in the league they want to throw tomatoes at Hodge. I'm one of them. I definitely want to, but I've heard from many other people that they really are hoping that he's the Tomato King this year. And we'll get to the Tomato King rankings later. But yeah, so that's the week 2 highlight. So now we're gonna get to brass tacks here, Kyla. This is where we get to see your the goods, baby. The week 3 preview. All right, so I'll let you go first, Kyler. Or if you want me to go first, you can kind of see the run through of it, or do you want to go first?
Sure. I mean, sure. Let's have you go first, and then we'll bounce off each other. I'm sure.
Cool. All right. So our first matchup is ZT versus Yags. ZT obviously the 1 seed right now, and Yags is the bottom guy right now. Yags is 12th in the league, and we got the 1 versus 12 matchup, which is always a fun one to see how that goes. Yeah, Tasia, and then we got that, and let's go to our first place matchup. Okay, there we go. It's the In My Cobb era versus Cobwebs on the Court. Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting matchup. This is gonna be an interesting one. I think the projected score is a ZT by 9, but looking at our Vegas lines here, Vegas lines had a ZT as a 14.5 point favorite. Our odds makers are 2 weeks in a row. ZT has a double-digit favorite. So the odds makers like ZT. They do. All right. So we got Jordan Love at Cleveland versus Lamar Jackson in Detroit. Obviously, we saw Cleveland dominate week 1. Didn't allow Burrow to do anything, but I think that was more of the offensive line play than anything else, because we saw Cleveland get kind of smacked in the second half by Baltimore. Baltimore's going against Detroit. We saw them get smacked week 1 against Green Bay. I think the line in that game is actually kind of lopsided towards Baltimore, I think. I'm just pulling up the lines here.
Yeah, they're -4.5 favorites on DraftKings.
Only 4.5. Okay, what's the over the total points of that game?
53.5.
Okay, it's the highest total of the week.
I mean, both of them have let up crazy points and scored, so I see that. I could see that hitting pretty
yes. So would love to go against Cleveland. We've seen Cleveland, and it's at Cleveland too. We saw Cleveland already kind of stymie Burrow week 1 divisional matchup, but I'm going to go Lamar. I think Lamar is matchup proof, really. Until I see him get stymied, I think he's matchup proof.
I mean, yeah, there's not much you can do when you're against a quarterback like Lamar, especially in a league like PPR. So it's not much, but
yeah, especially the 10 yards a point for rushing. So
yeah. With that said, though, I do like Jordan Love a lot. I think he's the last hope of a proper developed quarterback, at least right now. So I think other leagues should follow that, or other franchises, and see how he panned out. So
That's true. Yeah, Mahomes and Jordan Love are definitely two guys that have succeeded in resting a year. Okay, so this is where it gets kind of interesting as far as Justin Jefferson. Now, Justin Jefferson, he could have a blow up week. I mean, a lot of people say Carson Wentz is better than JJ McCarthy. As of right now, at least he's a pro, so he'll get the ball to these guys. But their offensive line looks like trash. Cincinnati's got Hendrickson. They got some guys in their defensive line. And then on the other hand, you got Ted McMillan, who's been pretty solid, man. His first 2 weeks, 9 out of 12. He's been solid. Obviously, there's a higher boom with Justin Jefferson. Again, there's an unknown there with Carson Wentz. So with that being said, I'm going to go with Justin Jefferson here, but slightly. I don't know how much better he'll do than Ted McMillan. I'm going to go with Justin Jefferson slightly just because they're playing against a really shitty secondary in Cincinnati. So give me Justin Jefferson over Ted McMillan. Kyler, what do you think about that?
I'm going to have to tend to agree to that. Although, I love my Carolina players because of garbage time, when they're down by 50 and then they, get a touchdown or two with the fourth string players coming in. But, I mean, it's Jay Jettis, so there's not much you can do. And then, I do like Carson Wentz, but I do think Desmond Ritter just a little bit has a better edge, at least on the young side. Because, I know Wentz never really was the same after his injuries. So,
you think they actually might pull him and go Ritter?
It's unlikely, probably, but I don't know. I haven't really seen if they've even put any news out in the training camp and how it's going. Probably not, but I do like Ritter more than Wentz. Yes.
Interesting. I think Ritter is awful, but that's
I think he's awful too, but I think Wentz is worse. I think they have two terrible options.
That's true. Yeah. Believe me, I thought Wentz was going to be great when he came in for us week 18 last year, and he looked like dog shit. Again, he was playing with our twos and thirds O line, but nonetheless. Oh, we got the co-host Cobb on the chat here. This Cobb kid knows his stuff. There you go. Nice little shout out. This is amazing. The guy's from Italy right now, and he's commenting on the chat. This guy the guy's got fantasy in his veins. He can't get rid of it. All right, so we got Josh Jacobs against Cleveland or Jahmyr Gibbs against Baltimore. I love Jacobs. Again, you're going against a really tough defense. Solid. His floor 13 and 14 every week. But again, the boom is going to be with Jahmyr Gibbs. Gibbs has 13 and 19. And Baltimore's run team's been pretty shaky. I'm going Jahmyr Gibbs. So ZT gets that one for me.
I think that's a pretty easy choice. Although Jacobs does get a lot of carries. You probably just got to look at the receiving edges that Gibbs has, the extra points he'll get in that area. So, he's just a dual threat back, unlike Jacobs, I think, where he's just kind of more of a power back. So, Jordan Love does drop back a lot too. So there's that. And so I'll just see Gibbs probably.
Yeah, because the receiving aspect also too. I will say Jacobs. His floor is always gonna be high. He'll never give you a bad week, like a 0. Or not 0, but
he'll always get double digit carries. So he'll always be active and their primary red zone back. So
yeah, the touches will always be there for him. And same with Gibbs, just because the week 1's a good example of that. He 9 for 19, but he had 10 catches for 30 yards that game. So they still got him the ball, even though he didn't do shit in the running game. So it's always going to be there for him. But yeah, I'll go Gibbs here. So ZT wins that one. All right, so next we got Juwan Johnson and Tucker Kraft. Juwan Johnson's been pretty solid this year. It was kind of one of the pickups of the week after week 1. Came out, had a nice follow-up performance with a 14 last week against San Francisco. But Tucker Kraft's been all that in a bag of chips. As far as, your Jaden Reed's out. A lot of their weapons are out. 20 last week. And now Jaden Reed's gone. So I think Tucker Kraft's going to be the target hog over there. I could see us being very close to the two of them. But I'm leaning Tucker Kraft here between Juwan Johnson and Tucker Kraft. Kyler, thoughts?
I probably agree. I do like Johnson. I think he has 3 to 5 red zone targets, which is a lot for a tight end so far, which I like. But like you said, Kraft is pretty much unstoppable right now. So especially with him being kind of the number 2 target or number 1. So yeah, give me Kraft.
Yeah, Kraft's the guy. Everyone likes some Kraft mac and cheese. I'll take some.
He also blocks, so it's you have a guy who blocks and can catch. You don't know what he's gonna do, so it's he just shifts into the soft spot, gets some points.
Yeah, he's a stud. All right, so the next one we got DK Metcalf, who's been really disappointing this year. I know he had a touchdown last week, but I mean, like I think he had like 20 yards receiving in that game, which a lot of people were expecting him to kind of blow up against his old team, and he didn't. But Amon-Ra St. Brown, we're talking about guys who have really high floors. As him, I mean, like he had 35 last week. Another guy who blew up big time against me last week. But DK Metcalf, until he shows me something with Rodgers, I can't go him over Amon-Ra St. Brown. So give me Amon-Ra St. Brown over DK Metcalf. Kyler?
Yeah, it's probably the easiest decision on the board, honestly. I mean, I do love DK, but I mean, Amon-Ra just the way the Lions utilize like him and Gibbs is just different. So, they'll get touches everywhere. Metcalf, if Rodgers even decides to look at him, maybe he gets the ball. But
and plus, Gonzalez might be back this week. So,
that's a good point. He hasn't really been commenting much on it, but
all right, so another one for ZT. ZT's kind of killing it across the board here. All right, now we got DJ Moore against Jalen Warren. Jalen Warren has been pretty solid. Another guy, high floor, 13-14. It looks like Caleb Johnson's not going to be involved at all in their offense. Kenneth Gainwell's the other guy, which is pretty interesting because I thought Caleb Johnson was going to be this guy in Pittsburgh, and he hasn't been that at all. DJ Moore, on the other hand, a lot of people before the season were like, "Oh, who's going to be the Amon-Ra St. Brown in Chicago? Was it going to be DJ Moore or is it going to be Rome Odunze?" And it's been Rome Odunze pretty far so far. And so I'm going to go Jalen Warren over DJ Moore. Kyler.
Can't argue with that. I mean, I do think it's kind of a coin flip. I mean, especially with how Ben Johnson was acting after them not, playing like a championship caliber team in practice. He seems pretty adamant about them needing to play better. So maybe they snap this week and, they go crazy. But, I mean, Pittsburgh runs the ball a lot. I'd like Warren. I don't think Gainwell's passed the eye test yet for me. He doesn't really look like he's comfortable out there, but like I said, it's a coin flip. I like Warren. He gets almost double-digit carries, so he's their third down back. He'll get utilized in the red zone a lot, so I like Warren.
I mean, he's become like their entire back. I mean, everyone thought Caleb Johnson was going to be the guy, and then now it's just right out the gate. It's been Warren, not just on third downs, which has helped his fantasy floor. Also, to your point, right? Bears are playing Dallas. Dallas just allowed Russell Wilson to have 500 yards. Wanderlei Robinson and Neighbors dominated last week. So DJ Moore, if there is a bounce back spot, it could be against Dallas.
And it is a Ben Johnson run offense, kind of. So, you got to look at that too. So, but like I said, that's why I think it's a coin flip here. You can really go either or, but you'd lean towards Warren as the safer side, I'd say.
Yeah, just based on how it's unfolded so far through the first 2 weeks, you got to lean Warren here.
Yeah.
And then our last matchup, because we don't do kickers or defense, we got Ricky Pearsall versus Rome Odunze. How's Pearsall? I don't have him 12 and a 7. And then Rome Odunze. I mean, yeah, I can't. Until Rome Odunze falls off, I got to go Rome Odunze. I mean, the guy's a beast. I thought, he was one of my preseason prop bets. I placed on. I had him have over 750 yards and then 800 yards. So I'm liking my bet so far right now. And I think Odunze is the guy over Pearsall. In this one, I don't think it's close at all.
Yeah. I mean, I love Mac Jones, to death. But
do you have a Mac Jones jersey?
Hell no, dude. I didn't even like him. He was a dirty player. He was a crybaby. He was all right though. But
hey, Pro Bowler though.
He hit the gritty. Yeah, I don't think it's close, especially with, like you said, they 450 passing yards is ridiculous.
Yeah.
They looked like they were lost out there. And in Dallas, that's like unacceptable. You can't contain anything now. You lose Parsons. Now, like what? It's all unfolded. It all starts from the D line. So what happens? And now they go sign what? Clowney, trying to pick up the pieces or whatever. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, and also too, Jerry Jones's reasons ago, we need to stop the run. Well, you stop the run, but now you can't stop the pass at all, and you have no pressure.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep.
So looks like almost a clean sweep for ZT. I think the only one was Justin Jefferson for Yaglu, but nonetheless, what we said, ZT is a 14.5 point favorite in this game, so a 2 touchdown favorite. I'm gonna go ZT here with a back-to-back high-scoring week. I'm gonna go ZT with 142 to Yaglu's 119. Kyler, prediction?
Sheesh. 140. I like that. I mean, it's been high scoring every single time for some of these players, it feels like. So I feel like they're just bound to do it. So, you know what? I'm going to say I'll say like a 138 maybe for ZT. And then, I don't know, Yags. I'm sorry. I think it's like probably going to be like a 110, maybe less. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't think most of those guys are probably not going to hit their projected. So,
Yeah, it doesn't look good for Yaglu. And,
No,
you know,
it's not.
maybe because of ball tonight, maybe things will change. Maybe his fortune will change. Come to ball tonight, and your fortune will change. You know, that's usually what happens. ZT's coming to ball tonight, so you know that guy's
Yeah.
winning. He's undefeated right now. He's going to ball tonight. So, all right. So our next matchup is ZB versus Adam. I will let you lead that one, buddy.
let me see.
So the Yahoo projection is 126 to 123, but our Vegas line has ZB as a 3.5 point favorite over Adam. So that kind of matches up with the Yahoo line.
All right, let's go. Oh, well, you know, it makes sense that I'll lead this one. We got Kyler versus Dak here. So,
Ooh.
and Zach's 2-0. He's second versus 9th place. Projected to win again. Yeah. I think I'll actually go Dak here. I mean, Kyler Murray is great and all, but I think Dak just throws the ball way more. So, I mean, but he's not a running threat.
I mean, Chicago, we've seen their
Yeah.
defense look like dog crap. Dak.
Well, we've seen Dak look like dog crap too, you know. So, and Kyler's just calling my name for some reason. So, give me Kyler Murray.
Really? You're going to go Kyler or Dak?
Oh hell yeah, Marvin
Wow.
Harrison come back. You know, he looked like he got frustrated a little towards the end of the last game. So, I think he comes back a little angry.
I mean, yeah, he did post. He did post images of
Did you
him.
see that one play where he Kyler like scrambled and got out the pocket and scrambled for or skedaddled for 30 yards?
Yeah.
He's looking really good. He's so
It's solid. Yeah, I mean, I think Dak against Chicago's awful defense. We saw Dak have 400 yards last week against Giants. I'm gonna go Dak in that case. Also, too, you got Kyler. You got Kyler posting photos on Instagram in a Michael Vick Virginia Tech jersey holding pit bulls. Okay,
I mean,
maybe
it was Halloween. You know, I mean, you never know.
I mean, we're a month off from Halloween. He took him down and apologized for it. So you know,
I mean,
he's got his mind elsewhere right now. But yeah, I'm gonna go Dak against Chicago's poorest defense.
Makes sense. I don't hate it. You know, they got someone named CD Lamb, so I guess it's okay.
Yeah, not bad. The other receiver.
All right. JSN versus AJ Brown. I mean, you probably got to go JSN. I don't think AJ Brown has been sniffed a target barely a game. So I've never really liked Jalen Hurts as a kind of a passing quarterback. I always thought he's been more of a dual threat, run heavy. So yeah, I'll go JSN. I think he's crazy, and I mean, everyone besides him looks terrible. So, and Sam Darnold only throws to him. It seems like so.
Yeah, Cup is not. I don't think Cup smelled the target yet this year. Yeah, I'll go JSN too. I think AJ Brown's playing the Rams this week, so it's gonna be a tough matchup for him. Last week, I thought he was gonna have a decent week. He did get the 5 catches, which I bet on, but he was 5 for 29, so really not going anywhere. So yeah, I'm gonna go JSN. I think it's pretty easy.
Yeah, I agree. Next matchup, we got Alvin Kamara versus Chase Brown. You have to think Chase Brown's probably going to get more use in this game than normal, but so is Alvin Kamara. I personally own Alvin, and I pick him up every single year. I think he's one of the better players in the league. He doesn't really boom much, but I think I'll go Chase Brown, though, on this, just because I think his usage is probably going to go way up this week, so especially with Jake Browning.
Yeah, I think it's yeah, I'm gonna go Chase Brown too. I think with Browning, you might see a little bit more run game and also a lot of check downs just going to the running back. So
it's also, I don't know the forecast in Seattle, but it might rain. It looks like there's a chance of it, so running might be a little iffy. Who knows?
That's true. Yeah, and and the dome game for Chase Brown. Yeah, I think I'll take Chase Brown over Kamara too. And also rumblings of Kamara wanting out of New Orleans too. It's also another.
I mean, he deserves it. You know, he's such a good. It's New Orleans, dude. What are you gonna do?
I know. You
He's
got to pay.
20 touches a game. I mean, just can't get there. So
Yeah. No, but I think Chase Brown. It's an easy one over Kamara.
yeah. Travis Kelce versus David Njoku. Seeing the red zone incident that happened with Kelce and the Worthy takeout, I think this is a year that's his downfall year. If I'm being real, I think he's out of the league this year. I think he should have retired last year when he had the chance, when he took an L, but it's understandable, but he is Mahomes' probably favorite target. I mean, you got Worthy coming back, right?
Yeah, he's supposed to come back this week.
Yeah, looking at Njoku stats, I'd probably lean Njoku just because he's kind of been getting utilized a little bit more, and Kelsey's been folding a lot. So I think the safer pick's Njoku.
I'm gonna go opposite here. I think it's Kelce, and not because I'm a Chiefs fan. Just Njoku's kind of taking his role taken away from him from Harold Fannin Jr.
That's fair.
Fann's been getting more targets and receptions, whereas Kelce, he had a bad game last week, and he still has that. That would be Njoku's best game of the season, if he had that. So, yeah, I'm gonna go Kelce over Njoku. It'll be close, but I think Kelce has also a higher a boom game than Njoku does.
Yeah. I agree. Let's see. James Cook versus Drake London. Okay, that's interesting. I'd probably go James Cook. I mean, Miami looked terrible. I do like Drake London a lot. As they're playing Carolina, they also look terrible. But I mean, you have Bijan. You have to think they're going to utilize him so much. And then, I mean, you got Kyle Pitts. You got so many targets on that team spreading out the ball. And James Cook looked crazy last week. Miami sucks against the run. I'd probably lean towards James Cook.
I think James Cook's easy here. I do like Drake London, but yeah, I got to go James Cook, especially against Miami, where they made Ramondre Stevenson look like a Hall of Famer last week, which was, I was happy to see it being a Ramondre owner myself. I love Cook this week. I think Cook I think Cook's going to dominate tonight. And prop bets, I got a lot in James Cook tonight. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, tonight. I forgot. It's at 5 p.m. Oh,
what?
Because it's on Italy time on Ryan's.
Okay.
I was like, what?
5.
Looking at the game. Yeah, that one's pretty easy. Next, we got Genty versus Davante Adams. I mean, you got Washington, who before the Dietrich Wise injury, I really thought their D-line was going to be one of the best this year. But unfortunately, their defense has been falling apart a teeny bit. So, Genty, they said he needs to be utilized more. He could be utilized more. Davante Adams, though, versus Philly, I mean, you have to think he's probably going to get a few targets and at least a few catches. So, I'd like to lean towards Davante. I don't think Jonty's really been proven anything yet. He's kind of looked kind of cheeks, honestly. So, yeah, I'd probably lean towards Davante.
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy. Until Genty shows me something, I can't really rely on him. And it's not Genty's fault. I mean, Genty he shows flashes, right? Like, for like a 6-yard gain, the guy's like making like 2 dudes miss, but like the offensive line's pretty shitty with the Raiders. But Davante in that offense with McVay, I mean, they're getting him the ball. I mean, it's pretty much a Puka Davante show. But I like Davante big time this week over Genty.
Yeah, and you got Gino, who will just live and die by throwing the ball. So
yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
Zay Flowers versus Jennings. I think this is one of the easier ones on the board. I'm just going to pick Zay Flowers and ignore the rest. That's unfortunate what happened with Purdy. And now they have Mac Jones. He looked good in his first start, but I'm pretty sure they were just using different plays surrounding him. So he might look a little different this week. They might have been able to figure him out probably a little bit easier because they know what he's going to be doing. So I'd probably just say Zay Flowers. I mean, he's looked crazy this year so far. It's pretty easily.
Yeah, it's easily Lamar's favorite target. Yeah, I think this is the fact that our Vegas line has a 3.5 and Yahoo has it at 3 points. Kind of crazy. I think ZB blows him out. Honestly, I don't think this game's gonna be close at all. Just based on all these matchups. Yeah. So yeah, I go Zay Flowers. What's your projected score here?
Let's see. It was closer game than I thought. I think it's gonna be in favor of Zach. I think he's gonna probably be on the more boom side of things.
Yeah.
So I'm going to lean towards like a 140 with that team. And then 140 to probably like a 137, 35. I think the other team has potential, like you said, with Kelsey. I mean, he's Mahomes' number one target, so he could boom. You got Tyler Loop, so, he drops some points for you. But and you never know. Chase Brown could have a 30-point game with, how he's going to be utilized this week. So
that's true. Yeah, I think it's like 140 to like 105. I don't see Adam doing much this week. Dak had a big game, but that's about it as far as big game wise. Chase Brown had a decent game. I don't think there's really a blow up spot with that team. Minnesota's defense is actually pretty solid. So yeah, I'm gonna go ZB with a big one here. And killing that spread. I don't understand that spread, honestly. All right, so our next matchup is Roden versus Stu. So this is going to be a nice one. Here we got the 3 versus 6 spot. Our current projection, our Vegas line is Roden is a 7.5 point favorite over Stu. So let's begin. So Josh Allen versus Bo Nix. Dude, I'm not a Bo Nix guy at all, especially against the Chargers. The Chargers' defense has been really good this year.
Yeah.
Josh Allen against Miami, I think enough said. I don't really need to say much more than that. Just Josh Allen's gonna blow up spot tonight.
Yep, I agree. I think Bo Nix is honestly on the more overrated side just because of his O-line. Denver always just has a solid O-line. So what I saw last week with him towards the end, just overthrowing wide open targets, and it's Josh Allen. You just it's an easy choice.
Yeah, it's not even close. Especially with the on top of Bo Nix, it's also the Chargers too. Like, does he even have anybody else?
Yeah, that's true.
Who's his backup quarterback?
Chargers probably have the most depth at defense in the league right now.
Oh yeah, I mean it's nonstop. Yeah, Russell Wilson's backup quarterback against Kansas City. Yeah, that's tough. I go Russell Wilson just for because there's more higher boom there than Bo Nix. Okay, so Josh Allen, yeah. So next one, Puka and Terry McLaurin. I like Terry, man, but Terry already a rough season with Daniels. Now he's probably gonna have Mariota as his quarterback this week. Yeah, I can't go with that. That doesn't sit right with me. I think Puka's the guy. Even with Jaden Daniels, I still have to go Puka here. So yeah, Puka. Yeah, he's the dude over there, and Terry has not been the guy at all so far this year. That contract so far not worth it. So far not worth it.
Nope. I'm gonna have to agree. I love Puka. He's used almost every other play, which is a good and bad thing, obviously. But another bad thing is, we just doing this after Wednesday. I don't know much about the injury report, so I don't know Daniel's status. But just the fact that it looks like Mariota's starting, I guess you just lean towards Puka no matter what. Probably you don't want to risk any injury, especially with your franchise quarterback. We all know how that goes with.
Yeah, especially week 3. Week 3 of the season, you can't roll them out there. Yeah, and the one guy who I think is going to be impacted positively is a guy we're about to talk about, not just yet, but with Mariota playing as quarterback. But first, we got Chuba versus Kyron. Kyron so far this year, man, hasn't really been that dude. His yards per carry is not. 18 for 66 week 1, 17 for 66 week 2. He's getting a lot of attempts, but that's the thing. He's really not doing much with them.
No.
And last week, Blake Corum stole away goal line TD. Last year, Kyron was I think he led the league in rushing touchdowns, and you have Corum coming in and taking it. Chuba Hubbard, I don't know why his projections are 13s and 12s every week. The guy so far has been matchup proof because he's getting check downs up the wazoo. So I'm going to go Chuba Hubbard against Atlanta over Kyron Williams. And also, too, Kyron's going against Philadelphia's run D. I like Chuba against Atlanta over Kyron Williams versus Philly. So give me Chuba.
With these quarterbacks nowadays, it feels like every other play is a little check down. So I love me some Chuba, especially with a team like Carolina where they do give up so many points and he's always in the game still. I think, I think last week versus Arizona, he got how many points in the fourth quarter? I think that was like all his points. I think he had 8 going into the fourth, and then
Wow.
skyrocketed to 17. So just in garbage time because Arizona took everybody out. So, and they almost won the game. They look good, except Bryce Young showed why he's probably not going to be your guy in Carolina at the end.
Yeah.
He couldn't really clutch up, unfortunately. But
yeah, Bryce Young will probably be a journeyman around the league like Sam Darnold's been. That's where his trajectory's going.
Unfortunately, but so I think Chubb is an easy pick here. Kyren really hasn't shown much. He's just a high, bell cow type runner where he just gets a lot of attempts just to get a chunk out of the time, run the clock. So I don't think they utilize him in many plays, honestly, just kind of just set up stuff. I don't think he's really a playmaker. I think Chubb is more of that guy. So
Chubb's the dude.
Yeah.
And then we got tight ends. You got Chigaquanquo, who, that's a guy he just picked up like 2 weeks ago. And Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz has been great so far this year, and it's been with Jaden. However, now he's got Mariota. Mariota, if you look at Mariota's history, Mariota's always been a big tight end guy. When he was at Tennessee, Delaney Walker was his dude. And now, Zach Ertz has just been an awesome guy so far, and Mariota's going to be checking down to his tight end a lot, I believe, just how Mariota does. And I think Zach Ertz is going to be, if anybody gets positively impacted from Mariota being the quarterback for this week and maybe next, it's going to be Zach Ertz, big time. So, yeah, Zach Ertz over Chigaquanquo, not even close.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do. It's, Zach Ertz. And like you said, Mariota, I do agree with that. He's primarily a tight end guy. He doesn't really like to throw it deep that much, but I do like Okonkwo. I do think he's very athletic. He has a lot of boom side to him, but when you're just coming in with Mariota, you're probably going to play on the safer side, and Zach Ertz probably is going to get more targets this week, hopefully. So, and with Okonkwo, I just don't like how Tennessee is looking. I like how Cam Ward's looking. Their offensive line is on historically bad run.
So bad.
And tight ends are a part of the line, so he's probably not going to get much targets because their line's so bad. In my opinion, I think he's just going to be blocking more than anything.
Yeah,
give me Zach Ertz.
100%. No pass pro. He's not going to have time back to really do much, and we've seen that so far because Calvin Ridley's taking a negative hit. Pretty much everybody in that offense is taking a negative hit. All right, so we got Malik Neighbors versus T. Higgins. I think this is pretty easy. Malik Neighbors. And this is also another reason why I think Stu should actually bench Bo Nix to put Russell Wilson in. You get the stack factor by having by Neighbors and Russell Wilson because you're already relying on Malik Neighbors as it is. You may as well go Russell Wilson. So, yeah, I think Malik Neighbors has been awesome this year. It's great to see the Giants offense kind of flourishing. But, yeah, regardless if he's playing the Chiefs or not, I think they're going to be down a lot in this game. Like they're opened up as a 6.5-point dog. I think right now it's 5.5, and some books it's 6 points. But, yeah, I think they're going to be passing a lot in this game, and I think Malik Neighbors will have a good game. So, yeah.
I think it's pretty easy. Jake Browning has played with T. Higgins before, and they have popped off together. But who knows how you can't really bet on that because it's going to be his first game back. With Neighbors, people slept on him week 1, but it's not like he wasn't getting the targets. He got 12 targets week 1 and then 13 week 2. So you're going up against KC, whose secondary really isn't the best. It's not what they strive at. So yeah, I'll take Neighbors.
They did shut down the Eagles' passing attack last week. However, week 1, Chargers had their thing. Yeah, it's true though. Devontae Smith didn't do much, and A.J. Brown went 5 for 29, and McDuffie was guarding him. So you have to imagine McDuffie will probably be on Neighbors.
McDuffie's the bright spot of the secondary. I like him.
Yeah, one of the few. So yeah, Neighbors easy there. Jacoby Myers versus Emeka Abuka. Is Abuka playing? I know he missed practice yesterday. Expected.
It's Wednesday. It's just so many people miss on Wednesdays.
Yeah, I will say Jacoby Myers has been a constant guy for them. He's throwing at him every play. But Abuka, he's been solid, man. I love Abuka so much. I think it's Abuka all day long over Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, I'm a big Jacoby Myers guy. I thought he was going to do a lot more last week, but Geno just looks so bad. It's unbelievable. So with the way Geno's looking, they're going up against Washington. And their secondaries, clamps. Yeah, just give me Abuka. Easy.
Easy money. And then our last one, you got Debo Samuel, DeAndre Swift. Now, this is interesting, right? So, Debo, we're talking about how the Commanders' offense might be shitty without Daniels. But, we've seen Debo. He's a playmaker. Debo is a guy that they can just get the ball to. They can put him in the backfield, hand the ball off to him. They're without Eckler, so he might have more of a role as far as like a receiving back out of the backfield now. So, I don't know. The kind of the mystery around Debo has me kind of leaning more Debo than DeAndre Swift.
Mm-hmm.
DeAndre Swift, I like to go into the season. I think he had a decent week 1 game. I don't know how we did week 2.
Yeah, you got 13.
13. Okay, solid. I think for me, I think with the mystery around Debo and what his role could be, I has me more attracted to Debo this week over DeAndre Swift. So I'm gonna go Debo Samuel this week.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's not like Mariota hasn't been in the franchise for quite a bit, so he knows the offense. I do think Debo is going to get utilized probably the same or more, honestly, because I mean Mariota's been proven he can hop in for a game or two and drop you some good numbers, and you're going up against the Raiders, so it is what it is. I do like what that said though. I do love DeAndre Swift. He really passes the eye test for me. I think he has a lot of potential, and can be a dual threat back at times. But I mean, with the Bears and how they utilize their wide receivers and him, I don't really see him booming that much. Just because Caleb Williams won't really throw to him that much. He'll just try and throw a deep ball. It seems he just kind of waves him off whenever he's in the flat and open. So yeah, just probably good Debo.
Yeah. So. Honestly, I think what we had Roden as a 7.5-point favorite. And who has him as a 13-point favorite? I think Roden wins this game. I think he got every matchup here besides Malik Neighbors. Even if he puts Russell Wilson in there, it won't make much difference. So give me Roden 135 to Stu's 110 to 135.
Yeah. I like that, honestly. I think I'm just going to agree with you on that. I was going to lean towards maybe 140 just because Josh Allen could throw up another crazy game, but
it's true.
I like 135. There's a lot of ifs on both sides, honestly.
Yeah. It's top to bottom. I mean, Roden's roster is so much better than Stu's.
Yeah. Agreed.
And Jack Lee, Roden's team has a crazy ceiling. Yeah, it really does. It really does. What's up, Jack? Lil J, baby. And Jack's coming in right at the right time because we're about to go over the matchup between Jack and myself. And Kyler, you're going to lead that discussion, buddy. This might be a bloodbath. Might be a bloodbath. That is Lil J versus CND SDS. The line for that game is Jack is a 9.5 favorite. 9.5-point favorite over me.
I think you still have someone on the waivers or something. A player coming in from somewhere. I don't think these numbers are right. Something has to be off, right? Nope, that's the right projection. Yep. Okay. All right. Patrick Mahomes versus Jalen Hurts. I'm just gonna go Patrick Mahomes. Jalen Hurts has the rushing edge to him always, and the tush push and all that. I just think he's the most overrated in the passing terms. So yeah, I'll just go Patrick Mahomes. He can just drop you 40 out of nowhere, especially on the Giants.
So fun stat about Patrick Mahomes. You mentioned the rushing aspect for Jalen Hurts, but actually Patrick Mahomes is actually leading all quarterbacks in rushing yards this year. He's number 16.
Well, I meant the red zone.
Right. Okay. But the rushing yards has really given him an added boost to his fantasy stock this year. 16th overall in rushing yards on the season in the NFL. Giants defense just gave up 400 yards last week to the Cowboys, so we could see a bounce back kind of retro offense, especially if Worthy does play on Sunday.
Yeah, that's gonna be key. If he starts, then I mean, just Mahomes all day. Once he gets that deep threat back, I mean, that's all he needs to boom. Probably most of the weeks he'll play.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, give me the Mahomes. Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill. Interesting matchup. That's actually really hard. You probably go Tyreek. I mean, Jalen Waddle is questionable. He got a nice red zone target, but I mean, you probably just lean towards Tyreek being the bigger boom in this matchup, just because it's Tyreek, and they might have figured something out. Or if the drama is actually real and Tyreek and Tua are starting to not like each other, then I mean, you probably go none of these guys because you just don't trust the system now. So really, who knows with this matchup? I'd just go Tyreek.
Yeah, I would go Tyreek here. Waddle is going to test his shoulder wrap pregame, so we'll know. I don't even know if he's going to play. But yeah, Tyreek, I would go Tyreek just because of the boom aspect between the two. So
yeah, pretty easy. All right, Bucky Irving versus Achane. I know Buffalo's not the best against the run, and I mean, the thing is, I don't like Thursday games that much. It's a short week, you know. Who knows how they'll play? I'll probably just lean towards Bucky because I mean the Giants are not good against the rush. So yeah, just give me Bucky. I think it's not going to be close. I think Achane's just not going to get close to 17 this week.
Interesting. I think it's going to be close. I'd probably give a slight edge to Achane. Just looking at the last few games against the Bills, he's been a leading receiver for the Dolphins in those games. A lot of Tua checkdowns or Skylar Thompson checkdowns because Tua can't finish the games against Buffalo for whatever reason. So with the receiving element that Achane gets against Buffalo tends to get against them. I think the last 2 games he got like 8 for 63 or 7 for 65 against them. So with the receiving element that he gets, I'll kind of lean towards Achane, but I wouldn't be surprised if Bucky dominates because the Jets' run defense is atrocious.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's see. All right, Harold Fannin versus Kyle Pitts. Green Bay versus Carolina. Probably lean towards Kyle Pitts here. I mean, Harold Fannin did, you know, he is starting off the season really, really strong. I mean, he has 14 targets already with 12 receptions, but Kyle Pitts is just right up there with them, and I do think I like Penix just a little bit more than Flacco. And I mean, it's versus Green Bay. I mean, who knows how much time Flacco is even going to have in the pocket to throw. So I just take Kyle Pitts here.
I'm going to go Fannin Jr. against Kyle Pitts. I'm kind of over the Kyle Pitts thing. I think I'm just done with the hype. I'm done with that hearing his name. I don't even want to see him anymore. I'm going to Harold Fannin. You said 14 targets over the last 2 games, 12 catches. Green Bay, good defense. Flacco's not going to have a lot of time, so you're going to see a lot of those like little 4-yard hitches and those small little routes the tight ends get. So a lot of checkdowns coming for Harold Fannin's way in a blowout game. I think that's going to happen against Green Bay. So I'll take Fannin, but probably a slight edge though. But you could have a blowout game.
I mean, at the end of this, tight ends, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I mean, back to Kyle Pitts real quick. I mean, I kind of agree. You know, I was him and Breece Hall. I was the most unsure about this year. But, I mean, I still think you could trust Kyle Pitts just a little bit. It's not like he's done terrible because he's got the targets down, which is good. So they just need to develop a little bit more of a connection. And then with Mooney coming back, it might open the field a little bit more. Who knows? So
that's true. That's a good point.
All right, next. Wan'Dale Robinson versus Brian Thomas Jr. Well, with how Trevor Lawrence has looked recently, which is terrible, and how Brian Thomas has looked. I mean, every ball T-Luck throws to BTJ is just like in the air for like a hospital pass. So they just seem to be at a disconnect or something. I don't think they'll fix it in a week. With that said, it is versus Houston, who aren't the best, but I mean, Stingley looked crazy last week. So I'd probably just go Wan'Dale. I mean, with how he played, even though he just kind of had one good game, I mean, he's always kind of had that boom side to him. So I'd lean toward Wan'Dale.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Wan'Dale here. The stuff that I've seen, obviously, I've Brian Thomas Jr. in another league and also the league that you and I drafted together.
Yeah.
And just watching some of the clips from him, like he's giving up on routes when he gets pressed. He wants nothing to do with it. A lot of drops. With Brian Thomas Jr. Wan'Dale. He's been great so far. Russell's been throwing to him a lot. He's always been kind of a PPR monster, getting like 8 for like 45 kind of games. So he's got a high floor. But another thing with the Chiefs, we talked about our secondary. If you look at week 1 against 2 really good slot receivers in Ladd, McConkey, and Keenan Allen, Wan'Dale fits the mold of those guys. And we have trouble with the slot receivers. And I think Wan'Dale could have a big game as far as catching the ball. I don't maybe not like what he had last week, but I could see him having a floor of about like a 12, 10 to 12 range. Whereas Brian Thomas is going to be a boom, but he could also be a bust, and you're going to get some really good defense in Houston. So I'd go Wan'Dale's on a slight edge there.
Yep. Yeah, I like that. I mean, it's with the being week 3 and it being like up in the air with how Tila and them are gonna act this week. He's probably leaning towards Wandale no matter what until they prove us otherwise. And then Xavier Worthy versus McCaffrey. I'd probably just go CMC. I think his usage is gonna be ridiculous. So I think it's pretty easy. I think Xavier Worthy could boom for 2 tutties, 2 catches, and like 100 yards, but it might be a feel-out game. You never know. I mean, it's versus New York, who's really not the best. So I still lead CMC.
Yeah, safe money here is CMC. We know CMC is going to get a lot of touches. We don't know. I mean, Worthy right now, he's on track to play. He almost played last week. But, yeah, just based on what we know, CMC is going to get touches. CMC is the guy. It's not close here. I think CMC is the one you'd want over Worthy.
Yeah, for sure. Ramondre versus Travis Etienne. I'm just gonna have to go Travis. I had a feeling he'd do well again this year. I'm happy that his comeback is starting. I do love Ramondre, but I mean Pittsburgh. I do think they're just like a good defense, and we have played pretty bad teams. We haven't really been proven yet, so you could give Ramondre maybe a slight edge just because of last week, but I mean Etienne's just been solid his first 2 games where Ramondre hasn't, so I just go Etienne.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Ramondre here. Pittsburgh's run defense has been really bad. You guys really it seemed like you guys were big fans of Ramondre, and I hope they don't try to go back to week 1. Utilize Ramondre, man. He's cooking right now. You got to keep feeding the hot hand. But yeah, Pittsburgh's run defense has been really shitty. I think you guys got to kind of lean into that a little bit more. Kind of more a gritty kind of style to get another dub.
I definitely think Mondre's usage is 100% going up, along with Gibson. I'm hoping we kind of sit Travion just a little bit more. And I mean, with Vrabel, he's just always going to run the ball. So, Mondre's always kind of a safe bet.
100%. And McDaniel's a big Ramondre guy. His best season was with Josh McDaniels. So it seems like he wants to go back to his guy. All right. Kyler, who do you have in this one?
Honestly, it's a lot closer than I think it's projected to be with how just Brian Thomas could act and Achane and also Tyreek. So I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be like a 109 to like 110, 115 game probably in favor of Jack just because his players just have a little bit more upside to them. But I think it's going to be a little bit closer than the projections at least say.
Yeah, I'm going to go upset here. I think I take the win this week. I picked against myself the last 2 weeks, and I think this is the first time. This is the first time I'm going to pick against for myself. I think I win. I think tonight's going to be a good indicator as to how this game's going to go. If Tyreek and Achane go off tonight and Waddle doesn't even play, or if Waddle doesn't do shit, he gets pulled out in like the second quarter or something because his shoulder was hurting him. That'll be a big indicator of how things go. I think I pull us off slightly. I'm going to go 121 to like 116. So similar kind of scoring that you had, but with myself a little edging out a little bit here. But yeah, the 2 games you got to watch to know who's going to win this game is tonight for Jack and then Sunday night for my game. So we'll know how the game goes based on those 2 nights. All right. Okay. So our next one is we have Alex versus Hotch. So that's a big game, man. A huge one. Where is quarterfinals Merchant versus Hotch? So Alex has something special to do here. He got dominated week 1. He scored like a 91 points in week 1. And he's got something special here. He could really put a nail in the coffin on Hotch's season 3 weeks into the season. Hotch goes 0-3. Kind of hard to bounce back from that. No one bounces back from 0-3 starts. No one does it. And yeah, and Alex is saying match of the week. I think it might be match of the week for a different kind of reason, though. It's not like, the 1 versus 2 spot. No, it's just this is a guy whose season could be in peril if he loses this game. And knowing Hotch, if he does go 0-3, I could see him trading guys to get draft picks for next year. So a big game for Hotch. Big game for Alex because Alex can actually show the league like, hey, guys, look, I'm here to be that dude. So we got the spread actually has – so the Yahoo spread has Hotch by 9 points. But looking at our Vegas spread, which is what we go by, Alex 1.5 point favorite over Hotch. So Vegas likes what they're seeing from Alex. They don't really like what they're seeing from Hotch. So with that being said, let's get to it. So we got Justin Herbert versus Denver and Jaden Daniels versus Vegas. So I love how Koch is putting Daniels in there as of right now because I don't think he's going to play. Based on everything I've been reading, doesn't look like he's going to play.
No, I don't think they're going to take a risk. I don't know why you would.
You can't do it. And Hodge's other option is Drake May at quarterback. I know you're a big Drake May guy, but Drake May, you can't go Drake May. You can't do it.
Why not?
You can't.
What do you mean?
You can't do it. I don't know. I feel like there's better options out there based on matchups versus.
No.
So you like Drake?
Not
May?
in Josh McDaniels' offense. No. Yeah, right. I like Drake May. I mean, he's proven. I mean, it's your second year. You have to do what he's doing right now to be an elite quarterback, and he's on track. So I like what I see. No bias.
Interesting. Okay, I mean, I guess.
With that said, I do like Justin Herbert more. I do think.
Okay,
but it's against Denver.
You like Herbert against Denver over Drake May against Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I think Denver's great at defending the pass, but I think it's just so many targets with the Chargers and how they're playing. You got to think he's still going to find a way to at least get probably 2 passing touchdowns. I guess easy, but
yeah,
and then Pittsburgh. I'm pretty sure a better passing defense this year than last year. So especially adding Ramsey to it, and
I mean, outside of Ramsey, their defense has kind of been really shit. It's a very different type of Pittsburgh team. Their defense is not that good this year. I will say I was dogging Drake May, but now that I look at it, Denver's defense, passing wise, is one of the best. Even last year was pretty good. Their run defense, Jonathan Taylor kind of exposed it last week. However, the Chargers don't have Jonathan Taylor. They have Amarian Hampton, who looks awful. They have Najee Harris, who's a bum. But that could mean they throw the ball more with Justin Herbert and kind of force the issue there. So with that being said, I'll probably give the edge on that one to Drake May. If any other week, if Alex had a decent quarterback or a decent matchup, I would probably go Alex here. But I think Drake May slightly edges out Justin Herbert just because the matchup who they're playing this week. So pretty interesting. I go Drake May over Justin Herbert.
I like that. I still think I'm going to go Herbert. I mean, I think their O-line right now, especially with Alt, is just unreal. So I think no matter how good their secondary is for Denver, you're just not going to have enough time to cover Ladd, Allen, and Johnson all at once. So I got to go Herbert. With the way they're looking right now, they're looking like a contender easily. So, yeah, Herbert.
It's a good point. No, I definitely agree with that. All right, we got Nico Collins versus Devontae Smith. Nico Collins had start off the game, first drive, scores his touchdown. Like, we're gonna have a big Nico Collins game. He ends up, I think he caught 2 more balls after that, which is unfortunate. Devontae Smith, on the other hand, hasn't been the guy. I mean, we talked about the Eagles' passing offense; it's non-existent right now. I mean, outside of the one catch where Devontae Smith had last week for 40 yards, that was pretty much it. He didn't really do anything. He has done nothing so far this year. Nico Collins, I gotta figure that Houston's gonna get him more involved. Kind of do what they did earlier on in the game against Tampa, but do it pretty much throughout the game. So I got to go Nico Collins here. It's not even close over Devontae Smith.
Yeah. I do think Stroud hasn't looked the best this year. He's kind of fallen off a cliff almost, it seems like. But, I don't know if that's because of his O-line. I haven't really been paying close attention to Houston, even though I did draft Collins. He's just been a disappointment. So they're going against Jacksonville. I mean, I think you got to lean Collins, even though I like Devontae Smith's boom side. Like I said, I just don't like Jalen Hurts as a passer. I think, especially with how much they run it and the checkdowns they do, it's just you never get a rhythm for him, and he's never been a good passer anyway. So, yeah, just give me Nico Collins.
All right, so then it's pretty interesting, right? So Alex has Justin Herbert in this game, and then Hodge has Omarion Hampton in this game. So we're seeing the quarterback and the running backs who's going to do better this game in this one. But Saquon Barkley versus Omarion Hampton. Saquon. He is the offense for Philadelphia. He is what they're going with this year. And last time we saw Saquon against the Rams, he had that magical snow game run against the Rams. And I'm gonna go Saquon Barkley. I think he dominates this game, and I think Omarion Hampton's a bum. So
yeah, so I like the little speech you were doing with Barkley because I just knew you were gonna say he was a bum anyway, who he's up against. So Yeah, I think it's just easy. I think we just got to go with Barkley. I don't think Hampton's passed the eye test yet. Because like I said, with the O-line the Chargers have, there's no reason why he shouldn't, be doing better, honestly. I mean, you can give him time, but 15 attempts, 48 yards, 8 attempts, 24 yards. it's not looking promising right now. I don't know if he's struggling to find a gap or what's going on, but
yeah. We're going to look back at Hodge's draft this past year's maybe one of the worst first 2 rounds of a fantasy league draft ever. He drafted Amari Hampton in round 1 and then follows it up with Travis Hunter in round 2. Travis Hunter's been really trash. Amari Hampton's been trash. And the thing is, the difference between
think about the future.
Yeah, I mean, you're not. There's no way he's keeping Travis Hunter in round 2. But the thing about Amari Hampton and Genty, right? As we talked about, Genty really hasn't been explosive. At least we see Genty actually has, he's done something, right? Like, oh man, if only he had the O-line, he could have had, a bigger run on that. Hampton can't do shit. I mean, he can't do anything. It's been pretty awful.
It is pretty awful.
He's not breaking tackles. There's no elusiveness at all. Pretty interesting. It just shows you the gap between the ACC and the NFL is a pretty big gap. Yeah. So yeah,
should we even talk about this next one? I mean, if you just got to pay attention to injury news, I guess, because I mean, if Brock Powers is starting, then Brock Powers wins the matchup easy.
Yeah, although Jatavion Sanders hasn't been. I mean, last week was a pretty good game for him.
He played a good game last week.
Yeah. It's Bowers all the way. So,
but like I said, teams like Carolina, when they're down by a lot, I think he got most of his points in garbage time.
That's true. Yeah. Bowers over Jatavion Sanders. Our next one, Jonathan Taylor versus Jamar Chase. We talked about it just a little while ago, how Jonathan Taylor is phenom. Jamar Chase, he's got Browning this week. It's not the same old Burrow show, although Browning did go to him a lot on that final fourth quarter drive where they marched down there to win the game. I think he threw it like Chase every time on that drive. But yeah, I like Jonathan Taylor. I think just overall the amount of touches he'll get, I think he's the guy this week against Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you could say it's hard to choose because Jake Browning does have experience with Jamar Chase, so they have some type of chemistry, and I'm pretty sure that he had like one of his craziest games with Jake Browning. But I mean, these guys are both probably some of the best fantasy players you could ever have ever. So you just got to look at the matchup, and I'd lean towards Jonathan Taylor versus Tennessee probably, especially with, Jake Browning. Yeah, they have experience together, but you just never know. So until their first start, and Jonathan Taylor proven himself time and time again, no matter what. Colts are looking good. I just fight the hot streak. They lost, I just ride Jonathan Taylor.
Oh yeah,
they almost lost.
Yeah, it was a close game. All right, so we got Javonte Williams, who's been a big-time pickup for the Cowboys, as well as Alex this year. He's been great. But he's going to get CeeDee Lamb. And although I think Javonte Williams have a good game, I think his game won't be better than what CeeDee Lamb produces on the other side. So give me CeeDee Lamb over Javonte Williams against that really horrible Chicago secondary.
Yeah. I mean, I think you just got to go with CD here. He has way more upside. Javonte does get a lot of carries, but I mean, with the amount of targets that CD gets in the secondary of Chicago and how much they struggle, I think it's just easy. This is one of his more potential boom games. He's dropped under his projected so far twice, so I expect him to probably drop a little bit higher this week because it's not like him to drop two times in a row, especially with the caliber player he is. So I'd lean towards CD. I think he's bound to have a good week here in a few. So, and Javonte's been going way over. So I mean,
it's bound to.
Yeah,
it can't be gems every week.
Nope.
So our last one here is Marvin Harrison Jr. versus Quentin Johnson. We talked about the Broncos' deep pass defense being pretty good. I think Quentin Johnson, unfortunately, in this matchup here, he's going to have to go against Patrick Surtain because Quentin Johnson's not a slot receiver. So Ladd and Keenan Allen won't be having to face Surtain. Quentin Johnson will be that guy to have to face Surtain. So I think that he'll be shunned from this game. Marvin Harrison, since going back to last year, has been up and down for him. I think week 1 he had a pretty good week, and then week 2 I think he had like a 3 last week. But with Quentin Johnson's matchup, I think we'll see Marvin Harrison have a better game than Quentin Johnson. Like I can see Quentin Johnson having one of his games that we're used to seeing from Quentin Johnson, not what he's done so far this year. So I'm gonna go Marvin Harrison on slightly over Quentin Johnson.
Yeah, I agree. Normally what coaches do, especially week to week, is they look at last week's or who's performed and how well he did last week. So, I mean, they're probably looking at Johnson and how open he's been getting and figuring that out, especially with Denver's secondary. I will say it is at home for the Chargers. I kind of like that a little bit better. I think Denver strives way more at home with their secondary. Not saying they can't do it at the Chargers SoFi, but I mean, yeah, I think I'd lean towards Marvin just because I mean I like Kyler, and I mean they have a good connection, and I think I'd just go Marvin just because the Denver secondary probably will figure out Johnson, and you have Keenan Allen and Ladd McConkey to separate targets. So
Yeah, the slot guys are the guys who are going to eat in this game, if anybody does
Yeah.
eat in this game. So with that being said, I got Hodge losing this one. I got Hodge going to 0-3 for May. I think the first time in his career in the BL Plus. So give me Alex. We're gonna go 127 to Hodge 105. I think.
And
it's like
honestly,
22 point
I don't want to be that guy, but it could have been a closer game depending on the second round pick. Honestly, Travis
That's
Hunter's
true.
kind of nil here, so yeah, I agree. I'm just gonna follow you on that score. I think it's pretty accurate.
Yeah. All right. So now our final matchup, Kyler. This is very fitting. You get to talk about your brother's matchup. My brother versus your brother. There you go. Like that. Look at that
Gosh.
one.
Where is this at?
It is March of the ZTs versus the Runaway McBrides. This spread, Tasia is a 1.5 point favorite against your brother in this.
Okay, let's see. All right, we got Caleb Williams versus Jared Goff, Dallas and Baltimore. Oh, ooh. Honestly, I mean, Jared Goff is way more comfortable, probably of the choice. He dropped 43 last week, which is not going to happen again. But Caleb Williams has been more steady so far. But I mean, I just go Jared Goff here on the upside. I think it's going to be a shootout between Baltimore and them. Caleb Williams looked good. He's looking better this year, but I still don't like him that much. And I just think Jared Goff might boom a little bit more because they're kind of finding a better rhythm. So, and I love Detroit, so I'm going Jared Goff.
So I'm going to go here. So didn't they play Baltimore? Yeah. Okay. So 2023, the last time Goff played Baltimore, this was actually, are they playing in Baltimore this week? Or are they playing at Detroit? Oh, it's at Baltimore. It's at Baltimore. Yeah. So when they played in 2023, this is the first year when the Lions went to the NFC Championship game and lost to the 49ers. That year they played Baltimore and really it was like a week 11 showdown. They got dominated. It was at Baltimore. They lost 38-6 in that game. Goff, 33 of 53, 284 yards, 1 pick in that game, was sacked 5 times. This is without Ben Johnson. We saw week 1. He got dominated against Green Bay last week. He did his thing, of course. Caleb, I think I gotta go Caleb this week. I think Dallas' secondary is really trash, and they made Russ Wilson look like vintage Russ. So Caleb Williams, if he is gonna look like the Caleb we saw at USC, this would be the week to do that. So I'm gonna go Caleb Williams over Jared Goff this week.
I don't hate it. All right, who's next? All right, Ladd McConkey versus Mike Evans. I like this a lot. I think Mike has a lot of upside this year, especially chasing his legacy for 1,000 yards. So I'm always going to lean for that from Mike just because he has an incentive. He drives every game with that. So, but with that said, Ladd McConkey, like we were talking about earlier, is probably going to find some more targets this week. He's been dropping under as projected. And even though with Denver's defense, I do think he's going to find some spots if he starts. So I'm going to lean towards Ladd here. Just would have to wait to hear on if he's healthy or not. Probably.
Yeah, I'd probably go Ladd if he does play over Mike Evans here. The Jets secondary Jets even overall has not looked good this year, but I'd probably go Ladd just because I think the underneath stuff will be there against Denver. The outside stuff will be contained by Surtain. So as long as Ladd plays, I'm going to go Ladd against over Mike Evans.
This is probably the best matchup besides Jonathan Taylor and Jamar Chase. Bijan versus Derrick Henry. Detroit and Carolina. I mean, I'd probably just go Bijan, even though it's Derrick Henry. You see him fumble the ball and drop 2 points. he's just not looking like himself. He dropped 23 yards on 11 attempts versus Cleveland. So, Myles Garrett did his thing, but I just think with Bijan and how much utilization he gets, I just don't. Derrick Henry could get 3 touchdowns, but I think Detroit's gonna be scrappy. I don't think he's gonna have a boom game. He might go towards near or over a little bit his projected. And I think Bijan is leaning towards a more boom game versus Carolina. So I'm just gonna go Bijan here pretty easily, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. I think Bijan has a bigger game than Derrick Henry. Carolina is, it's Carolina. And Henry, I will say Detroit's run defense has looked pretty good so far throughout the season. Henry, that's one thing about him, doesn't get a lot of catches. So it's either he either runs the ball and he breaks an 80-yarder, or he just gets kind of stuffed for a 17 for 57 kind of game with no catches. So I go Bijan over Derrick Henry.
Next one, Tyler Warren versus Trey McBride. Tyler Warren's questionable toe. So I guess you'd have to wait for that information. I love Tyler Warren. I've drafted him in both my leagues. I think he's got the most upside out of most tight ends this year. With that said, I do think Kyler and Trey McBride have a special connection. So I think Trey McBride's that one tight end who you'd take earlier than any other one. So I'm just going to go Trey McBride. Although Tyler Warren has had some boom so far, I do think it's going to fall off a little bit, although it's versus Tennessee, and I just like Trey McBride, and he gets utilized a lot in their offense. So I'm going to lead towards Trey.
Yeah, I'll go Trey McBride as well. He's one of those guys. We talk about why Marvin Harrison isn't being utilized. Well, it's because they have a guy like Trey McBride who they can check down to, and I think, me personally, I think Trey McBride is the best tight end in the league right now. I don't think it's. I think he's really taken the title from Kelsey, and he's been that guy.
I was going to say that. Yeah, that's fair. Not Kittle or anything. But,
not Kittle. Definitely not Kittle. No. Guy can't stay healthy for more than 2 weeks. McBride.
He doesn't kill his players.
That's true. He just kills his hamstrings and his own knees. So he's a selfless guy. Selfless. Trey McBride or Tyler Warren. Although Tyler Warren's had a really good start to the season, and I made fun of Cobb on the draft day when he drafted him in the 4th round. However, if you go back to what I was making fun of him for, was your brother drafted T.J. Hockenson in round 4. 3 picks later, he drafted Tyler Warren in round 4. So what are you doing? Just why'd you do that? Why'd you draft 2 tight ends in round 4?
I think T.J. Hockenson's overrated.
I think he's a bum, and he looks cooked too.
That's how the tight ends. They always find a space to get points here and there. It's you can be a bum and get away with it sometimes.
For sure. But Tyler Warren has looked great. So he hit on that pick. He didn't hit on the pick that the 3 ones earlier than that. But nonetheless, I'll go Trey McBride here.
Yeah. Jordan Mason, James Conner. I've always been a huge Jordan Mason guy. When San Francisco got rid of him, it didn't really make much sense. And then when Aaron Jones was starting over him, that didn't make much sense to me either. Although he hasn't put up the points to back up what I'm saying, he passes the eye test for me. I think he has the potential to be a number 1 back, especially for Minnesota, and probably top 10, back in the league if he wants to be. But so can James Conner. James Conner's a beast. That guy just runs his hardest. He's yet to boom, but he's still reaching his projected because he's getting the touchdowns, and he's also a dual threat with the reception. So you'd probably lead towards James Conner just because of the dual threat, but I'm going to lead towards Jordan Mason just because I think they're going to utilize him a lot more with the quarterback changes. I think he's good, and it's for Cincinnati, so I'm going to go Jordan Mason.
Yeah, I'm Jordan Mason. It's his time to shine, man. It's a lot of people have been waiting for him to be that guy. He looked great when he was in spot duty in San Francisco. Now Aaron Jones is gone for a couple of weeks. Jordan Mason is his time to say, "Hey, this is my backfield." When Aaron Jones comes back, it's not going to be his. Just like when CMC came back, it became CMC's backfield. But nonetheless, Jordan Mason is his time to shine. James Conner, solid back. He's going to get you a solid floor, but Jordan Mason can really hit a home run here, and he can also have a solid floor as well. So I love Jordan Mason in this spot.
Okay, next up, Kenneth Walker or Cortland Sutton. without even thinking about it, I'm gonna go K9. I'm a K9 believer just because I think he has the potential to be a great back. I mean, we've seen it. He just has to figure it out. I also think it's part because Seattle really doesn't know what they're doing on offense yet. They're kind of figuring things out, and I think they figured it out a little bit nicely last week, especially with the play actions, and then you got Walker involved as well as in Jigba. So I think Walker's going to do good again. I think he proved himself to be better than Charbonnet a little bit last year, and then this year, I mean, I think he's gonna probably have his projected raised more throughout the next few weeks if he's getting started. So I'm gonna go K9. I think his stock's only gonna go up, and with Cortland Sutton, I mean, it's just Bo Nix just can't throw to a fucking billboard. So
No, I'm 100% in agreement with you. Yeah, I think Kenneth Walker is the guy here. He looked great last week. Only thing you need to worry about Kenneth Walker is not Zach Charbonnet. I think Zach Charbonnet is maybe the most vanilla back in the league. It's just staying healthy, man. The guy gets groin injuries every year, and as long as he doesn't have the groin injuries, he can be that RB1. So yeah, I do love Kenneth Walker. Yeah.
Tony Pollard versus Jerry Jeudy. All right. Well, Green Bay's versing or Cleveland's versus Green Bay. So I mean, you had to take that into consideration heavily. With that said, I mean, Tony Pollard, he's been getting almost 20 attempts per game, which is crazy. So I think it's just easy. You got to go Tony here. I mean, with Green Bay and how they've been doing with Parsons and Joe Flacco's old ass, I doubt they're going to do much throwing. And if that, it might be like a little screen here, some downloaded Jeudy in it for a little bit of a gain, but I just don't think he's going to have the targets to be there this week to compete with the attempts that Tony Pollard's going to have. So I think you just give the edge to Tony here.
Yeah, Jerry Jeudy looks slow. Flacco's, we just talked about earlier, Flacco's literally only throwing to his tight ends. It's Fannin and Njoku. I mean, like half his attempts are going to, maybe more than half his attempts are going to tight ends. Jeudy just doesn't look like the guy. They also have Cedric Tillman, who he likes throwing to as well. So yeah, Tony Pollard, for a fact that Tony Pollard's going to get a lot of touches. And with that, I got to go with the touches here. So yeah, I like Tony Pollard. And this is honestly, while Tasia is the 1.5 point favorite here, I think we know who the real favorite is in this game.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with my brother on this one. No biasy. I mean, if all goes well, there's a lot of good matchups on this side. So I think I'm leaning towards a boom here, especially with Jordan Mason hopefully popping off and doing what he's supposed to do. So I'm gonna say, dare I say, like a 138, maybe like a 139, like a high 130s, and then for Tasia, I mean, it's just a low week for this team, honestly. I'm sorry.
A lot of bad matchups.
Yeah, a lot of bad matchups. I'm probably going to go under the projected. Might be lucky to scratch 110, I would say.
Hey, we've seen Tasia go boom or bust. Boom week 1, and last week 2, a bust in week 2. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think Cobb gets 135, and I think Tasia, 105. Maybe vying for a low score of the week again. Maybe. So,
I mean, it was so low scoring last week. I think with everyone figuring stuff out, even though there's some hard matchups this week, I think it should hopefully be a little bit better scoring odds, closer games all around, hopefully.
Cobb says 138 would match my combined total for the first 2 weeks. Let's go. So he's really happy with that projection.
Well, there you go.
So when you say stuff like that, Kyle, that makes me want to rethink my projection here. So you know what? You aren't really scoring that much. Let me maybe redo that. So your brother wants me to, so his team name is March of the ZTs, and he wants me to show you why his name is March of the ZTs, and I'll show you right now.
Okay.
This is why it's March of the ZTs. This is not AI. This is 100% legit, 100% real.
Okay.
This is good stuff. You'll definitely enjoy this. Where the fuck is it?
None of this is AI.
The intro a lot was AI, but this is 100% real. This is legit.
Oh god, I'm ready.
So yeah, ZT was a feature in this girl's song called "I'm a Penguin Bitch," and he was the Penguin Bitch. So So,
I mean, someone's got to do it, I guess. They found the rule.
hey, someone's got to be the Penguin, bitch. Not going to be me. Might as well be ZT.
I mean,
All right, so we're going to go to our final. I know. I
did not expect that.
I bet you didn't. When I first saw that, I was distraught for a few days.
Dude, yeah. I feel like it stopped right when it was about to get to the good part. Looked like he had a whole choreography planned.
There's literally like a minute 2 song, and like half of the song is him dancing to that like auto tune. Cobb says Kyler is fighting for his life to hold it together.
No, you did great in that.
Yeah, you good job, ZT. All right, so now we're getting to Tomato King rankings. Ryan has sent in his Tomato King rankings to Kyler, so Kyler will be sharing what Cobb has for this week. But before that, we got to give our intro, and here is our Tomato King rankings. Here we go.
I'm gonna keep on winning, so I won't be in the tomato club. Don't wanna wear that crown and get pelted with that farmer's love. Back to back like Cobb. Oh no, back to back like Cobb. Oh no, now that just ain't my fate. I'm gonna keep on winning, so I won't be in the tomato club. I'll dodge those red tomatoes if I just keep my place. When the final week comes and the shame bells ring, back to back like Cobb. Oh no, back to back like Cobb. Oh no, now that just ain't my fate. I'm gonna keep on winning, so I won't be in the tomato club.
All right, so Tomato Club rankings. What do you think about that video? That was a lot of AI.
I'm glad he sent a lot of real pictures in for that. But let's see.
All right, so we'll kick things off here. So Kyler, read off who his 7th guy is. So you'll do your 7th, I'll do my 7th, and 8, and so on. So who is Cobb's 7th guy?
He said Tasia. He didn't want to put him there in case he pulls a stew and dominates me, he said, but a rough low scores needed to be brought back down to these ranks.
Whoa. I mean, it's
Those are
true.
fighting words.
It's true. When you have 71, it's true. We just talked about it. Boomer bust for him. Mine is Adam. I have Adam in my 7th spot, slightly higher than where they have him. I think he's 9th overall right now. But 2 back-to-back weeks of not really scoring a lot, and he's got guys like AJ Brown and Ashton Jetty, and Jetty has not been the guy that everyone thought he was going to be, and that offensive line is not going to improve at all this year. It's only going to get worse probably. AJ Brown's just not getting targets. He'll probably be asking for a trade soon and crying on the sideline once they start losing. And then his last flex, he's got Juwan Jennings, who's meh, or Tyrone Tracy, who's also meh. RJ Harvey drafted early, and he's not the guy there either. So there's a lot of question marks on his team, and when you're scoring as little as he has been scoring, I can't trust a guy like that. So Adam's my 7th spot.
No, I pretty much said the same thing and put Adam at his 8th spot. So
Ooh,
pretty much said the same thing. Said Dak needs to pick it up. London or Chase Brown, AJ, Genty, all those guys can turn it around after a rough start. But I like Chase Brown. I think he's going to get a lot more utilization. So, but everyone else, yeah, they need to pick their shit up.
Wow. All right. So my 8th spot, I got Stu. So Stu, we talked earlier. We don't like his quarterback situation at all. Bo Nix is not the guy. I would say he's regretting his Jaden Daniels trade on draft day, but Jaden Daniels is going to be missing a good chunk of the season now. So Bo Nix, not the guy. Terry McLaurin is pretty much just an overpaid receiver right now and not getting targets, and it only get worse to Mariota. Kyron Williams slowly losing carries to Blake Corum, so he's not even the main goal line guy anymore. DeAndre Swift, we're going to see how that offense kind of takes over the next few weeks. I know you're high on him. Jacoby Myers getting the targets, so that's solid. And Malik Neighbors is getting the targets. So outside of Malik Neighbors and Jacoby Myers, the rest of Stu's team is a bunch of question marks and guys who are like overpaid and just not good. So Stu, right now, I have him in my 8th spot. And if this continues, he could probably potentially be the Tomato King, honestly, by the time we're all said and done here. But yeah, Stu, I don't like the skeleton and the bones of your squad right now. I just do not like it.
Interesting. Hey, got a lot of home or turf in that matchup. So let's see. Well, surprisingly, I think Ryan put you at the 9 spot. So he said,
Wow.
Well, his explanation was you ran into a juggernaut in ZT. So, but he said you're still doing more with less, and he put the handshake emoji. So
Well, that's I
respect. Yeah.
Much respect there. So I have myself in the 9th spot as well. So great minds think alike. See, it's when you have a show together, Kyler, that's what happens, man. You and I are going to start thinking a lot more alike now after this. But my 9th spot is myself. Again, like Cobb said, doing more with less. I don't have a lot. I'm talking about, luckily I hit on Wan'Dale Robinson. So thankfully I hit on that. But yeah, my team right now is reliant on Mahomes and Worthy. And now that Worthy's coming back, will we see an increase in scoring for my team? Hopefully. But yeah, I love what I got from some of the other guys I have, but will I continue? Who knows if Wan'Dale will continue doing his thing? Who knows if Jalen Waddle will continue to be what we used to see from him a couple of years ago? And doesn't look like it because he's hurt tonight. So, but right now, yeah, my team is not a lot of home run hitters on it, and we're gonna need some guys to continue to step up, and we'll see if that's sustainable.
Sometimes that's what fantasy is about, though, is enjoying the what ifs, for the first few weeks, because once you get to those last few weeks and you feel like you know what someone's going to do, it kind of sucks a little bit more than what you hope they're going to do, So I look forward to the first few weeks of fantasy more than the last, especially with injuries. But so number 10 spot for Ryan is he put himself. No Burrow and leaning in DJ or Caleb as QB is scary. Pollard, Debris, and Wilson flex is pretty gross right now. Yeah, I agree. Not much you can do with Burrow. So,
yeah, not much. So close. I almost had Cobb at 10, but I had this guy ahead of him just because he has his quarterback situation perfect right now, and this is a Yaglu. I have Yags at 10. A lot to not like about this team. So Love is fine. That's fine. DJ Moore has not been good. Still, it's only week 2, so I'm not going to overreact about it. But DJ Moore has not been good. DK Metcalf has not been good with Rodgers. Ricky Pearsall, who's one of his keepers. While I get the sentiment, he was a late round guy, like a 10th round keeper, so I get that. But so far, he hasn't been like they say he's the only weapon that San Francisco has right now because everybody else is hurt. Well, if he's the only weapon, he had a 12 week 1 and a 7 last week. It's just not really sexy. Luckily, he struck gold getting Juwan Johnson off the waiver wire. But outside of that, and you have Justin Jefferson, who's going to have Carson Wentz thrown to him. Who knows what happens with that? So there's a lot of mystery and a lot of not to like with Yags' team. But he's got his quarterback situation, so that's why I have him at 10 instead of 11.
Interesting. All right. 11 for Ryan is hot. Daniel's hurt, ? I guess you got to look at that. He's trying to say so. And I guess he got mad because no Burrow for Chase. And then he said Hampton looks rough. Watch out. So good valid points.
Yeah, 100% there's a valid points. So my 11th spot is none other than my co-host who's not here today is Ryan.
Oof.
I know he's not here. And it's tough that I have to say this about his team when he's not here, but nonetheless,
I'll take it. I'll take the brunt of it.
I gotta do what I gotta do, and he understands. That's why he has himself in the bottom. But right now with no Burrow is going to be that quarterback for him to kind of hit that ceiling. And no Burrow for probably the season, honestly. They say a minimum of 3 months, so he's probably done for the year. Lamakaki's been great. Jordan Mason is going to be the guy all of a sudden, so that's huge. I guess for me, it's like he needs to have these guys to continue to produce, right? It's Mason's going to be the guy finally, so that's huge for him. Kenneth Walker needs to stay healthy. Tony Pollard, I know he's a projected of 14 and he gets the touches, but he's not really impressive. Breece Hall's great, so he's got him on his bench. So the thing about Brian's team is if Caleb Williams can produce at a Burrow type level, he has been kind of consistent, then he'll be out of the bottom 6. But right now, I need to see what his backup quarterback situation can do, because I got a guy like Baker Mayfield as my backup quarterback right now. And if Caleb blows it, I'm willing to trade Baker to Cobb. But right now, I'm really curious to see how his quarterback situation plays out. And if it doesn't play out, then we're looking at a team that's in the bottom 6. If it does play out well, then hey, Cobb's in the playoffs, So yeah, this is that's why Cobb's my 11th spot right now. So who's Cobb's tomato king?
It's Yags. He said they're just a rough looking team right now. That's all he said.
I mean, yeah, he's right. I mean, I had Yags 10, and I went over all the reasons why. But there's one team that he mentioned earlier, just right before this, was Hotch. Hotch is my tomato king, and there's different lists, right? You have the overall who's the worst team in the fantasy league, but then you also have another list of like who's the person that people would want to throw tomatoes at the most. So this is where it kind of lines up here, where his team's not that good, and then he's also a guy that people want to throw tomatoes out. So it's honestly the perfect mix of both, of wanting to throw a tomato at somebody and also having a bad team. Devontae Smith, he drafted early, has not been good, and I don't see that turning around anytime soon. Mario Hampton, we talked about it being one of the worst picks of the draft so far. He's not explosive, nor can he break tackles. Brock Bowers is already battling a knee injury, and he was hobbling throughout that Monday night game. I kind of felt bad for the guy. Jamar Chase now has a backup quarterback thrown to him. CeeDee Lamb is one of the few bright spots, but even he hasn't played up to par. Jaden Daniels, Haas traded 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick to get Jaden Daniels, and now he's out this week, and who knows how long that injury can last. His last flex is a mix of Cooper Kupp, who's done nothing so far this year, Quinn Johnson, who was a waiver wire pickup, and then outside of that, he's going to hope for Quinshawn Judkins to be a guy of relevance anytime soon.
Yeah.
Rashad White, there's no one there. And then also, lastly, to put a cherry on top of this whole tomato, or to put a tomato on top of the cake, Travis Hunter being his second-round pick. Travis Hunter's is not even outscoring DBs, and he has him in his DB spot. He's not even outscoring defensive backs, and this guy's playing offense and defense.
And I feel it. Yeah, I feel like that's a really troll pick, because besides that, I mean, his team is ridiculous. I mean, if you even sharpened up on just the first 2 picks, which everyone, that should be your best picks. I mean, he would have probably been taken away with the league right now, it looks like.
Oh, yeah, he would be. I mean, the fact he also traded first this year, a first next year, and a second next year for Jaden Daniels. I mean, he could have had a really good squad. He could have drafted a quarterback late in the draft and been fine. But, yeah, Hodge, man, a lot of bad moves, a lot of bad draft picks, and his obsession with rookies came back to bite him, and we're already seeing that right now. So Hodge is on the precipice of going 0-3, being the first time going 0-3 in his career in the BL Plus, which is kind of sad for a guy who's won 5 championships in this league.
I mean, he's looking to play the long game. I see it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that kid's deal is.
He's still favored to win this matchup. So
depends what book you're looking at. If you're looking at the BL Plus odds makers, they have Hodge as the 1.5-point dog. So.
Fair enough.
But all right, guys. Well, that does it for us. We hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Kyle, you did a great job. And next Thursday, you'll be back for to do another fill-in spot for your brother.
All right. If he doesn't want to be here, sure.
I don't think he's going to be back next Thursday.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I got you then. Yeah.
Boom. Kyler's in, baby. All right, guys. Well, we'll hope everyone has a good match this week, and we want to wish everyone a good luck. And we'll see some of you guys at basketball tonight. I know ZT will be there to be cocky about his win last week. So, all right.
That's the only reason why he's showing up.
No, 100% is the only reason why he's showing up. Yeah. But all right, guys, we'll see you next time. Take it easy. All right.